I'm gonna build a wall around Earth to keep the aliens out. And the Alpha Centaurians are gonna pay for it, damn it. I look insane on camera. Okay, so cringy intro aside, there has been recent news out of NASA. There's a water world, exoplanet, about twice the size of Earth, whose name I cannot currently recall, that the James Webb Space Telescope has detected certain biosignatures in its atmosphere. And this is exciting news because these specific biosignatures, well, they're only produced by one thing that we know of naturally here on planet Earth, and that's phytoplankton in the ocean. So it's a very strong indicator that this exoplanet harbors at least simple unicellular life, which is very cool. But it got me thinking, what if there's more than that out there? Like, what if there's complex, advanced alien civilizations, and what if one of them decided to visit Earth? Like, what would happen? Yeah, we're gonna find that out right now. We got a video queued up. First 72 hours after aliens make first contact. Hour by hour by the infographics show. Go and subscribe to them if you're not already. They are fantastic. My guess, though, before we get started, is it's not gonna be too good of a day for humanity, or 3 days in this video's case. You know, if this super advanced alien civilization spent the time, money, and effort to come to Earth, it's probably because they need something Earth has, and they're probably going to be willing to take it by force. But let's jump right in. Turn this audio off. Well, there we go.
Scientist wearing thick-lensed glasses and a black t-shirt with a UFO and the words "I want to believe" on it puts both hands over the headphones he's wearing.
I feel like this is out of, like, Independence Day.
Picked up by the array of radio telescopes outside the window. He rips his headphones off and runs to the lab where the rest of his colleagues are gathered. "You guys really need to hear this," he pants as he bursts into the room. The scientist turns on the speakers and they all listen. The sound is not natural. Alien contact has been made.
What was the one signal? What was the it was the wow signal. That's what it was. Yeah, like there was a certain signal that SETI detected like it back in either late 80s, early 90s, and it was a very, very controlled short radio burst that seemed extremely structured. The running theory is that it was just interference from a man-made satellite, or whatever it was. But it looked a lot like a possible some type of communication from an alien civilization. Which there's whole conspiracy theories around that.
The scientists at the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, also known as SETI, scramble to follow protocol. Now that they've identified an alien signal...
Oh, it is. It's the wow signal. They are talking about it.
Procedures in place to ensure contact has actually been made. And the signal is not just a fluke, but the steps to follow are only known to the people who have the highest security clearance in the country. 1 minute after first contact. The signal is double...
Just imagine getting that, getting that phone call as some, high-level senator or politician. It's like, yeah, we're not alone. Like, how do you even how do you not tell other people? I feel like this is distracting. It's distracting me. How do you not tell anybody? I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut. Shit, we're getting invaded, man. I gotta go looting.
Double check by everyone at the observatory to make sure it's not coming from a human-made object or the result of a natural phenomenon. The scientists try to disprove that.
Sorry guys, I am not paying for YouTube Premium. What is happening in Hollywood today?
The signal is alien in origin, but can't. 2 minutes after first contact, the scientists at SETI reach out to their colleagues around the world by phone.
What's that one show? It was on the Discovery Channel, like way, way back, like years ago, or was it on History Channel? It was when I was in high school still. That was a decade ago. God, I'm old. It like Life After Humans or whatever it's called. Where it like breaks down like day by day what would happen with various parts of human civilization if we just all poof disappeared like tomorrow. I gotta like maybe I should do some reactions. You guys want to see reactions to like Life After Humans, whatever that show was called? I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't know too many people that have done reactions to that. It insta copyright claim though. That's what's gonna suck about it.
And over the internet, they tell them exactly what frequency to listen in on and where to point their telescopes in the sky. Everyone holds their breath as scientists across the planet try and corroborate the results. 3 minutes after first contact, time slowly goes by as the SETI scientists who first found the signal try pointing other devices at the sky.
It's gonna be. You gotta have your name in like history books, dude.
There is something there, really, really big.
Being the first person to discover there's life outside of Earth, like.
Enough light. And the signal
God.
keeps repeating itself. 4 minutes after first contact, results start coming in from around the world. Europe confirms that there is something anomalous in that part of the sky. Stations in South America, Africa, and Russia also confirm the signal is coming from something very large, headed directly towards Earth. The rest of the planet is facing away from this part of the sky, but as Earth rotates, they'll be able to confirm the alien presence as well. 5 minutes.
That would be so trippy.
The signal has been confirmed independently from multiple sources. Luckily for the scientists at SETI, they had friends at NASA.
That's Hubble, right? That's the Hubble, yeah.
At the unidentified approaching object. The thrusters on the side of the Hubble fire, repositioning the satellite. The scientists at NASA and SETI look at their monitors. As the blurry image comes into focus, what they see shocks them. Everyone stops what they're doing and stares silently at the monitor. For the first time in history.
Like, what are you doing at that point? Right? CNN streaming live coverage of the, like, mothership, either in orbit or it like, just entered our atmosphere type of thing. Dude, I am going, like, I'm going looting. Not that I'm gonna need any of the stuff that I loot. I'm gonna be dead in, like, a couple of days anyway, like everyone is. It's a very nihilistic standpoint, but yeah, that's the standpoint I take. I'm just gonna go do whatever. Just whatever I feel like. Yeah, to a certain degree. I'm just gonna do whatever. Go loot. Smoke a lot of weed.
Humans are seeing an alien spacecraft heading toward Earth.
Drink a lot of beer. I miss beer.
No one can move. No one can think.
I don't drink beer anymore.
The ramifications of the discovery of extraterrestrial life are overwhelming.
Not good for six-pack. It's good for a six-pack, not a six-pack.
Bubbles run down the side. Congratulations, everyone. We did it, she says. The scientists look at each other and let out a cheer. 7 minutes after first
What'd you do? We did it. You spotted
and the Secretary of
a
Defense
spacecraft.
They pick up the red phone sitting on a desk and dial a number that's only supposed to be used in emergency situations. The phone rings. 8 minutes after first contact. The Secretary of Defense picked up the phone. I'm busy right now. What is it?
Fun fact of the day, in case you didn't know, it takes approximately 8 minutes for light to get from the sun to Earth. That is 1 astronomical unit, or 93 million miles.
The gruff voice says on the other line, "Sir?" One of the scientists stammers, We found something. What are you talking about? The Secretary of Defense asks, sounding a little annoyed. Aliens, sir. There are aliens headed toward Earth, replies the scientist. Whoever gave you this number is going to be arrested and put in jail for a very long time. You do not prank call the Secretary of Defense. The FBI will be at your door within the hour. Goodbye. He slams down the phone. The line goes dead. 9 minutes after first contact. The scientist stands motionless with the phone to his ear. There's nothing coming through but the sound of dial tone. As he puts the phone back in its cradle, he whispers, "The Secretary of Defense didn't believe me." Everyone at SETI looks at him in disbelief.
Yeah?
A few seconds go by. The light on the emergency phone begins to blink. The scientist slowly reaches out his hand and picks up the phone. He places it next to his ear. "Why didn't you tell me there's an alien invasion knocking on our door?" The Secretary of Defense screams. "Get your team to DC immediately. We're putting the first contact protocol into place. Do not tell anyone
Like, I don't get it. Why even make a first contact protocol? What's the phrase? What's the any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So how sufficiently advanced do you think an alien civilization that can bridge a gap that is tens, if not hundreds of thousands or more light years across to get here? Like, how advanced do you think their technology is? They're over here casting spells and shit. Like, if they want something from Earth, it's literally not gonna be, well, we came and thought we would ask. If you guys don't want to, it's totally fine. No. No, no, no. They're gonna come, and they're coming all this way because they need something desperately. And they're not gonna take no for an answer. And that technology, that super magical fucking Horcrux spell casting technology they have, at least from our standpoint, they're gonna use it to get what they want. There's not much we can do about it. What protocols are we even putting in place?
else about what you found. The line goes dead once again. 10 minutes after first contact. Protocol dictates that no response to the signal should be sent back to the aliens before further information can be gathered. It's clear that the alien ship is headed straight toward Earth, but we still don't know if the aliens are peaceful or come with hostile intentions. The Secretary of Defense informs NASA to keep an eye on the ship and keep him updated if anything changes. He's about to meet with the president and other military.
POV, you're an ant. You just left the front door of your anthill, and you see a giant kid with a giant magnifying glass, and the sun's out. What are you doing? That kid's gonna kill you with his sun rays. This sun death laser.
Officials, 15 minutes after first contact. The chiefs of staff and the president of the United States sit around a table deep in an underground bunker. The alien ship will reach our atmosphere in a matter of minutes. At this point, the only people who know about the aliens are the scientists at SETI, the colleagues they reached out to, and the U.S. government. But this won't be the case for long. The U.S. needs to figure out a game plan before reaching out to its allies. Luckily, there's a top-secret contingency plan in place for first contact with aliens.
Why?
The president and the cabinet
Why have the contingency plan?
Reaching out to the aliens before.
What contingency are you planning for?
You can count on prices that are the same online as they are in store.
Alerting the world of their presence. The only problem is the government has no idea how to make contact with a highly advanced alien race. It does not seem that the alien ship is hostile, but they need to be sure. The government knows chaos will break.
So there's this really interesting, I forget, it's in the field of linguistics, but there's a really interesting kind of almost inverse like exponential decrease in the frequency of words used. So I forget the most frequently used word just in the English language. As an example, I think it's literally the, if I'm not mistaken. But then if you look at the second most used word in any language, it gets used exactly half of the amount of time that the first most used word gets, tossed around. And then third most used is exactly half of the second most used, and so on and so forth. So we can actually detect if, say there's another animal out there. I think this was used on dolphins. We can detect if there's like an actual coherent communication system, language, whatever you want to call it, being used, or if it's just kind of nonsense and just noise. But like, aside from some type of getting to know each other and understanding, you know, one another, how do you, or like a magic alien Rosetta Stone, like how do you determine what the aliens are saying? You know, we only really know how to determine if the aliens are saying something.
Break out as soon as
So how do we
word gets out about
communicate
the
to begin
aliens.
with?
Before that happens, they need to know as much about the visitors as possible. The president orders NASA to start transmitting to the alien craft. Most of the transmissions are number-based, as math is considered the language of the universe.
Oh, right. There was one, I forget where I heard this, but there was one instance where I think it was Michio Kaku. You know, he said one way that we can potentially communicate with an alien civilization is just using the language of math, because that's universal. It's a constant, at least in our universe. So, you know, what if we just transmitted a signal, you know, maybe it's a noise, and the oscillation is the same, at the same rate as like a hydrogen atom, which is the most abundant most abundant element in the universe. It's the same rate at which it vibrates. You know, just try and use stuff like that to gain a base level of communication back and forth.
Binary code seems like a good place to start. So NASA sends a signal containing a repeating series of pulses toward the alien ship. There's no response. The vessel just keeps flying toward Earth. 20 minutes after first contact, there's been no response from the alien ship. It's likely that almost every government around the world now knows the aliens exist.
Yeah, so I would start getting really worried as a world leader. That would be kind of scary. Because if they're not responding to any communication, they're either just not listening, you know, in the right channels, or they don't care about communication. They came to get something that they needed. And I thought, I will be right back. I have something that I need to tend to very, very quickly. Give me 30 seconds. I've returned! Let's keep watching.
That he reached out to earlier when they first discovered the signal has now contacted their respective officials. The United States reaches out to its NATO allies and informs them of their decision. It's time to start.
Russia and China are on their own.
Attack the planet. We don't want to provoke the aliens or inadvertently threaten them, so all military branches are kept on standby once they're in position. However, at a moment's notice, every NATO military...
I feel like I would suspect that, though. I feel like I would like, if I were to be one of the aliens that goes and visits a different planet, I would suspect that the inhabitants of that planet are going to mobilize their respective militaries. Because why not? Like, I'm an alien that has come to invade. Like, why wouldn't they
incoming alien ship with swift speed and
keep them on standby? Like they'd do anything, but
the last thing the human species wants is to provoke
be able to do
technologically
anything.
advanced alien species that may be coming in peace. 25 minutes after first contact, All NATO forces have been briefed, and troops are deployed to New Mexico as the alien ship seems to be headed for the array that first picked up the mysterious signal. The United States reaches out to the other powers around the world. China and Russia are brought up to speed. It's not that the US is allying with these countries, but they want to make sure everyone knows that the unidentified object entering Earth's atmosphere is alien in nature and not a new technology created by the United States or their allies. The last thing
It's a hell of a new
humans need is an
technology.
accidental war breaking out because someone thinks they're being spied on by a high-tech vessel and opens fire.
Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? The unprecedented, world-shaking event. There's an alien civilization that is about to, visit Earth. They're about to enter the atmosphere. Russia just thinks it's some type of U.S. military plane and just nukes us. The aliens just get a front row seat to us destroying ourselves.
Fire on the alien craft.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Pen and Paper Guy. And I'm...
Hi, pen and paper guy.
Well, I have a system.
Bye, pen and paper guy.
To prevent this scenario from unfolding, the United States shares their data on the alien ship, but keeps their tactical plan a secret. Unfortunately, what is about to happen next will cause people around the world to start panicking. 30 minutes after first contact, the alien ship is about to enter the Earth's atmosphere. The government can no longer keep this secret from the people. In preparation for what's to come, the Secretary...
If it's one ship, like, how big is the ship? Right? Is it classic, like, flying saucer, like, Roswell big? Or is it, like, Independence Day mothership big?
Police departments across the country...
There's a difference.
Every officer
Firepower
on duty.
being,
They must be prepared to stop
the amount
leading
of
the
firepower
rioting
being the
chaos
main
that's
one.
about to break out. Unfortunately, this contingency plan needs to be in place because analysts have concluded that alien contact will lead to mass hysteria among the populace. Every law enforcement officer, military personnel, and everyone in the reserves are briefed.
I'm going to find the only still open Radio Shack, and I'm looting a stereo. Do I need a stereo? Do I want a stereo? No. It's tradition. You gotta loot at least one stereo system if you're looting.
By their commander before the president addresses the nation and informs them of what's happening. The public should hear it from him before the media starts inflating the situation to boost their viewership. The president broadcasts on every radio and television station. The video is live streamed on internet websites. He reads from a pre-written script. Although he tries to remain calm, there's a sense of urgency in his voice. Everything is about to change forever. Other leaders from around the world also address their citizens. Many people can't believe an alien ship is about to enter Earth's orbit, but others begin to panic and take drastic actions. Even with law enforcement out on the streets, there is too much confusion and panic. 45 minutes after first contact, a lockdown is put into place. Everyone is asked to remain calm and stay in their homes. Many people listen to the president, lock their doors, and board up their windows. This isn't necessarily to protect themselves from the aliens, but from others of their own species.
Okay, yeah, I could see that facet of it. Like, what I was about to say, like, what does boarding your windows up do to prevent an advanced alien civilization from making forceful entry into your house? Nothing. They just vaporize the boards and the window and the wall with their fucking laser rifles or whatever.
Those who don't adhere to the lockdown are rounded up by law enforcement or left to their own devices. Either way, the next phase of the first contact protocol is about to begin. The aliens are here. It's time to figure out exactly who they are and what they want. 60 minutes after first contact. There's been no response from the aliens.
You guys think like, let's say an advanced alien civilization does visit Earth and they are peaceful. If they do partake in, extracurriculars, you think there's gonna be some human alien babies? There's gotta be. There's gotta be, man. There's no way.
Yet. This is not surprising since
Someone out there is looking at a fucking 3D rendering of a Martian and they're liking it. Like, someone's doing that right now. There's 8 billion people on the planet. There's no way someone is not doing that as we speak.
However, now that they're almost to Earth, there are some other options. The alien vessel passes the International Space Station. The astronauts on board relay whatever information they can gather about the spaceship back to Earth. However,
That's gotta
since
be
they're in
trippy.
orbit, they only get a passing glance at the alien craft as it enters the atmosphere. A fireball forms around the ship as the friction between the atmosphere and the high-tech alloys begin to heat up. The vessel stops 10,000 feet above the surface of the Earth. The United States sends a
10,000
reconnaissance
feet.
plane to gather information about the vessel. The aircraft is not armed because we definitely don't want to make the advanced alien ship think it's under attack. Troops are deployed underneath where the UFO is floating. They gather any debris that might have come off upon entry through our atmosphere and bring it back to the research facilities for analysis. The first contact plan hinges on humans gathering as much data as possible about our visitors to best be ready for whatever's about to come next. 90 minutes after first contact. It's now clear that all the nations around the world need to work together to uncover the intentions of the aliens. Information flows freely between countries, regardless of prior political differences. The United Nations serves as a hub for the exchange and sharing of data.
Would that actually work in practice? Like, in theory, on paper, you can say that, well, yeah, we're all going to work together, but then, you also have your own vested interest in your own entire nation worth of people to, take care of. So, are you really going to just be completely fluid with all of the information that you have? I don't know,
Ways to
man.
make contact are
I
implemented,
don't know.
using equipment such as bright lights, radio antennas, and devices that can transmit signals at different frequencies. Scientists, linguists, and mathematicians try to figure out some way to communicate with the aliens. Large screens project images that convey peace and universal symbols like the shape of an atom in hopes that we'll get a response. There's no guarantee that any of these things will work, but we have to keep trying. Otherwise, humanity's first contact with aliens will
There's a theory in astrobiology. It's basically like if there's so many if there's so much life that should be out there, surely there's complex life, intelligent, technologically advanced life, like everywhere. Why haven't we detected any radio signals or anything from it? And one theory is that maybe this advanced life just is using a different way to communicate. Maybe they're using some type of quantum entanglement device or something that we're just not privy to yet. We haven't advanced enough ourselves, or maybe there is some type of dangerous alpha predator species out there. And so everyone else is silent, so that species doesn't hear them. But what are us humans doing? Broadcasting the hell out of ourselves.
fail. There are two scenarios that could unfold with the aliens at this point. So far, the protocol for first contact has been carried out as planned. When contact was initially made, multiple independent scientists were informed and confirmed the signal was in fact alien in origin. Then the government was contacted, and they took action around keeping the public calm while gathering as much information as possible on the aliens. Now, based on the response of the extraterrestrials, the final part of the plan can be implemented. 24 hours after a peaceful first contact. Even though the aliens have not responded, this is a win for the humans. It means they likely don't have any hostile intentions, and we haven't done anything to provoke them into violence. It's also possible that the extraterrestrials have been sending a return message, but we just haven't discovered or deciphered its.
Yeah, what if that's just the scout? Like, the mothership is coming. Right, they just want to see how they need to prepare and, like, load up for war.
Meaning yet. We probably won't understand their response right away, but given time, our scientists will figure out its meaning, and a dialogue can begin. The most likely scenario in this situation would be that the
Yeah, you guys think Martians would use Mac or Windows?
aliens
Random
will figure out a
question.
way to communicate with us long before we figure out a way to communicate with them. So they would end up solving the problem for us. The fact that they have traveled light years to get to our planet means they're vastly more advanced than we are. They'll likely have technologies we can't even dream of, one of which might be a universal translator or a way to dumb down their communication methods to our levels. 48 hours after a peaceful first contact, scientists begin to get results from the initial alien signal that they fed into computers. The patterns in the signal sent by the aliens are quantified and laid out in a way to find repetitions and meaning. The data deciphered by our computers is shared with other scientists worldwide as we look for a way to make sense of the codes hidden within the alien signal. Now that the alien ship has stopped moving, the military has set up a full perimeter around it. The streets are empty. Shattered
Full
glass from
District
store
9?
windows line the sidewalks. Abandoned cars sit lifelessly on the roads. People everywhere are glued to their screens as they watch the events of history unfold between humanity and the first intelligent life we've ever come into contact with.
So, it brings up a really interesting question, right? Let's say aliens visit Earth and they are peaceful. How do like all of the major religions change? Like specifically the Abrahamic religions. They're all very, very human centric. We are the center of the universe, and here's this big alien mothership hovering in the atmosphere that now is a very clear indicator that we aren't the center of the universe. Like how will that affect people as far as religiosity? There's going to be a lot of unrest out there.
As time goes on, the only thing anyone's talking about is the aliens and their ship. Doomsday preppers assume the end has come and hunker down in their bunkers. Many people have locked their doors and await further instructions from world leaders. Others are making their way to the location of the alien craft so they can see it with their own eyes. They're stopped miles from its location by military personnel blocking all routes that lead to the ship. The first contact protocol in place restricts civilian access to the aliens. Only government agencies, scientists, and military personnel are allowed to try and make contact
Makes
with the
sense.
aliens. They're trying to minimize the number of variables that might lead to confusion or hostilities. 72 hours after a peaceful first contact, the protocol remains the same. The government works with scientists and other nations to try and talk to the aliens. We still need to know why they're here and what they want. Since there has been no conflict, it does not seem like our new visitors want to wipe us off the face of the Earth. We've now advanced past the first contact protocols and are just trying to make sense of the situation. Under ideal circumstances, we would eventually find a way to communicate with the aliens. They would share their knowledge and technology. We would join a federation of galactic civilizations and explore the final frontiers of space. Humanity would...
But I mean, humanitarian aspect of it, right? Here's this advanced civilization that spent God knows how much of their own money, time, and effort to build this super advanced spacecraft. And then, they send some of their own members tens or hundreds of thousands of light years to Earth to share their technology? Why?
would spread
It
across
makes
the
no
stars,
sense.
peaceful exploration and missions to bring other species to a thriving galactic community. Unfortunately, this probably isn't the way things would go if aliens ever did come to Earth. In a more likely scenario, things would go very differently and very badly for the human species during our first contact protocol, 24 hours after a hostile first contact. As we signal the alien ship to try and communicate with them, they vaporize our scientists and destroy all reconnaissance planes. Massive doors on the alien craft open, and an invasion fleet swarms down to Earth. It's now time to put the second part of the first contact contingency plan into place. We hoped we'd never have to do this during our first contact with aliens, but it's now become inevitable. Throughout human history, whenever a more advanced civilization came into contact with a less advanced one, there tended to be exploitation and war. The civilization with more state-of-the-art weapons and technology typically took whatever they wanted and conquered the lands of their adversaries. There's no reason to think that an advanced alien civilization would not do the same to the Earth. The United States launches its full military strength at the alien
That's
ship,
what's
but
most likely going to happen.
they plead with their allies for help. The British Royal Air Force and the combined strength of all the nations in the European Union attack the alien ship. Unfortunately, humanity's aircraft are no match for the aliens' superior weapons and shielding. We launch ballistic missiles from naval vessels and silos at the UFO. However, nuclear weapons are kept off the table for the time being. We don't want to destroy ourselves in the process of fighting off the alien threat. This has been the plan from the beginning if the aliens became hostile. Nuclear weapons are to be used as a last resort only, 48 hours after hostile
makes
first
sense.
contact. Unfortunately, not everyone on the planet can be counted on. There are certain countries that see the conflict between the United States, its allies, and their aliens as an opportunity. They launch invasion forces to conquer lands that they've had their eye on for some time. They're not allying with the aliens, and the aliens are not allying with the rogue humans, but each of them wants something.
Why? Here's this super advanced alien civilization that has visited Earth with their super advanced ship, and they're killing everybody. Like, you're not, your country is not going to be around long enough to conquer foreign lands. Why even do that? You're weakening the military that you have at home, that you definitely need to try and protect your citizens from, the freaking aliens.
They're taking. It might seem unbelievable that we need to consider the actions of other countries while the planet is being invaded by aliens, but it's something that must be considered even in this scenario. Humans are now fighting the aliens and each other, but the threat from space is the main focus for the United States and its allies. The hostile alien protocol dictates that the extraterrestrials must be stopped at all costs. Military officials look to scientists to help determine their next course of action. If the aliens seem to be using biotechnology or have minimal armor, a biological weapon might be effective against them. The US launches a non-explosive missile loaded with viruses, bacteria, and other deadly pathogens through the hull of the alien ship.
Wait. So you're able to penetrate the hull of the ship, but you're not able to destroy it? I don't know. What's interesting here is, like, let's say we, with the NASA's Artemis program, or, good old Elon Musk with his Mars plans, let's say we go and we send people to the moon and Mars, and there just so happens to be, maybe in Mars's, polar ice caps, some, billion-year-old remnant of unicellular life, and it's a bacteria that would have been extraordinarily deadly to, any other Martian life that existed. Maybe that's why life on Mars, if there was any back in the day, ceased to exist. If we were exposed to that, would we get sick? I don't think we would, because that bacteria, that Martian bacteria, evolved for completely different organisms. So would any of our viruses be even remotely effective, on these aliens? Probably not, but I guess it's worth a try.
The hope is that when the pathogens are released, they'll kill off any alien life forms that are trying to invade the Earth. If the extraterrestrials seem to be heavily reliant on technology, humans could drop EMP bombs onto the alien vessel. This would cause all the electronic functions to cease and the ship to fall out of the sky. 72 hours after a hostile first contact, it becomes clear that even our most deadly weapons aren't strong enough to stop the alien threat. There's only one thing left to do. If the human species can't have the planet, no one can. We launch a nuclear missile at the alien ship. It detonates. Everyone looking toward the sky is temporarily blinded.
See, I think that would be our only real course of action that we could take, right? That's our only real course of action. Because in all likelihood, the aliens have come to Earth and are hostile. And the reason being is we have a natural resource that they need. Now, maybe they can filter out radioactivity. Maybe they're immune to the effects that we experience as humans of radioactivity. But that would probably be our best course of action, is just to nuke the crap out of the planet and send it into one big nuclear winter. Make that whatever natural resource the aliens came for so undesirable that they just say screw it and leave. I think that's
Cheer
the best
is
course
out
of
across
action.
the country as we think we defeated the alien threat. But as the smoke and fire begins to subside, we see that the alien vessel is still there. The extraterrestrial technology is far more advanced than we could have possibly imagined. The final order is given. All nuclear missiles from around the world are launched at the UFO in hopes that we can
Jesus.
destroy it. Our planet will become irradiated and will plunge into nuclear winter, but it's better than giving up our home to an alien species that wants to strip it of its resources and enslave humanity. It's important to note that there is no way to know exactly how well prepared we are for first contact with aliens until it happens. SETI and other science organizations have protocols in place for when they find an alien signal. We know the United States and other governments
The pineal gland has tiny little cilia, hair-like extensions all around it.
such as the United Kingdom and Japan have a first contact protocol, but these documents are classified and we can only extrapolate bits and pieces of what they would look like from what has been leaked. The scary part is that according to some of the greatest minds of science, making contact with an alien species is likely to be the end of humanity. We know that any extraterrestrials that can make it from their home world to Earth will likely be light years beyond us technologically. We also
You think aliens will have boobs? If so, how many?
know that since the universe is a vast place, an alien craft that comes directly to Earth likely did so with a purpose. If they just wanted resources or to explore, there are plenty of resource-rich uninhabited worlds throughout the galaxy. If the aliens are
Okay,
aiming
that's
for
a good
Earth,
point.
it probably means that they want something from our planet, and they don't care whether humans are living on it or not. Stephen Hawking, one of the most brilliant minds that ever lived, strongly believed that humankind would likely be wiped out by any alien civilization that came to Earth. Hawking predicted that such advanced aliens would probably become nomads, looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they could reach. So who knows what the limits would be? But not all scientists are
Given
as
enough time, I
pessimistic
think
as
that's the
Stephen Hawking.
direction humanity's
Seth
heading
Shostak,
in.
a senior astronomer at the SETI Institute, believes that any hostile alien civilization that is cruising around the galaxy would likely have already picked up radio signals from Earth and come to conquer us. The fact that we've been left alone to develop on our own might indicate that any alien species exploring the galaxy right now just doesn't find us interesting enough to bother with. Or in an even more optimistic scenario, they're waiting until we're more technologically advanced before welcoming us into their space
The whole
federation.
Star
The truth of
Wars,
the matter is we are not
Star
prepared
Trek
for
scenario.
first contact with aliens. Since going to the moon, humanity has greatly reduced the amount of time and money we invest in space exploration. This means that we're probably better prepared back in the late 60s and 70s for alien contact than we are today. Our first contact protocols are likely outdated, and any aliens we come into contact with will either not bother with such a technologically inferior species as humans, or they'll just make us their pets. Now watch, Space Chief makes a shocking alien...
Jeez. I mean, I'll be a pet for the right price. 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Also, I stream on Twitch usually every weeknight, or try to. Don't always succeed. But I usually stream on Twitch every weeknight at 12 a.m. Alaska Standard Time. I upload most of the VODs from Twitch to YouTube. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date on my future uploads on YouTube, hit the bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.